Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Bundesliga Show. Predictions for match week 1. Very excited to have Bundesliga back this weekend coming. So, I'm joined this evening by Cam Smith. How are you this evening, Cam? Excited to be with us for your first show of the season. How are things?
Oh, amazing, mate. Football's back. How can we complain? Literally nothing to complain about, is there?
No. Yeah, very true. How has your summer been? Has it been one of hope and thinking about Bundesliga football? You had a nice break?
Well, yeah. My break's actually next week. I'm going away for a few days. My girlfriend from Germany's over here for the next month, which is nice. So yeah, just going away for a few days, a bit of travelling around the UK, and yeah, it's been good. My team Wolves got off to a horrible start last weekend against Manchester City. So, but as we say, the proper football's back this weekend. So
proper footy is back, yeah. Really excited for this. Hope you all get involved in the comments, let's have some fun with it. See what predictions we're gonna come out with. I was just saying to Cam off there that I'd prepared this rather neat and at least nice looking Excel predictions document to share with you all and have a nice shared screen, but alas, I didn't realize that StreamYard wasn't going to let me do it, so I'll figure that one out for next week to have some better visuals. So we're just going to talk our way through it. Get involved in the chat, have your say on match week 1. Very excited to do it. Just before we do, please make sure that you leave a like on this video, comment along. Already a few people tuning in, which is great. Justin, lovely to see you, and Sammy as well. Thank you for joining us, and everyone else that is watching and not commenting. But make sure you subscribe as well and turn on those notifications. Big shout out to our 2 partners, of course, one being Bully News, whom Cam writes for very regularly as well, and done some nice previews for the season ahead. So check out those on Bully News. And as well, big shout out to Rich and Bundesliga Boxes, who are doing a, perfect setup for the giveaway. If you haven't seen it on social media, get over to our X, get over to our Blue Sky. We're doing it across both. The last batch 50 of Bundesliga boxes. You'd be crazy to miss out. All you have to do is do a couple of things on social. So check that out. Get yourself a chance of winning the very last one that is available. Awesome giveaway prize is the pinned tweet on our, or tweet or post or whatever you want to call it these days. So check that out. Awesome prize that we're currently running with Rich and Bundesliga boxes. So to football, we've been previewing it for the last couple of weeks, Cam. Lots of fun shows. Previews are great. We're on the precipice. We finally get to predict what match week 1 is going to come out with. I can't wait for this. And we're going to start. We're going to do it chronologically, of course, tomorrow night's blockbuster at the Allianz in Munich for Bayern, the champions taking on RB Leipzig. Should be a great game, this. Be interesting to see where it all lands. Can't wait to watch it. I'll just swing it straight over to you. Let me know how you see this one going, and make sure you get involved in the comments as well.
I just saw the title of the live stream saying Bayern to be shocked by youthful Leipzig, and I don't know, it's sort of sent my head into a spin regarding that, to be honest. But I'm sorry, Justin, for you watching, but I just can't see your boys getting anything this weekend. Of course, it's the fixture that nobody wants on opening weekend, isn't it? You always want to get a nice, easy fixture to sort of ease yourself in and get 3 points on the board early on. But I can't see that with this Leipzig side, to be honest. I think Bayern are too strong for everybody in this division at the moment. They showed that last season, and I very much tipped them to get 3 points on the board. And I saw in our little Buddy News and the Bundesliga Show group chat today, a couple of 3-1s and 3-0s. I'm not going to go that high. I'm just going to go a 2-0 to Bayern, to be honest, if it was for me.
Yeah, interesting stuff. So, just for clarity, this season as well, hoping to do something a bit more fun. Me and Mark did this between ourselves a couple seasons back. We're a bit of a head-to-head. So, a couple of us are going to be doing obviously our predictions as the season goes on, but we're going to be kind of scoring ourselves. So at the end of each match week, we'll add up the total. So we'll get 2 points for a correct score and 1 point for a correct result. So if you want to challenge yourselves against us, try and do the same thing, tally up how you go, and let us know in the comments. So yeah, me, Cam, Mark, everyone are going to be going head to head and seeing where it all lands at the end of the season. The prize of which, of course, is pride. So yeah, no, looking forward to that. I will say on this one, I've landed on. I'm landing on 2-1 Bayern. I think, for many reasons, like you've already kind of introduced, it's the fixture that no one really wants, but Leipzig obviously come into it with a free shot. There's obviously a couple notable absentees for Munich, obviously Musiala, which we all know about, and it doesn't come together. There's not necessarily loads for company, maybe to bring off the bench initially. Obviously Thomas Bischoff as well is having his appendix out, so that's a big blow for them. And I think Pavlovic as well is out, so maybe in the midfield perhaps a little bit light.
He was back in training earlier this week, but I don't think he'll be ready yet. Plus, company seems to love Leon Goretzka, doesn't he?
He does, but I think it's a really good bit of professionalism. And me and Mark talked about it loads last season, that the fact that company just said I want him gone, but Goretzka was like, "No, I'm going to work my ass off and just work my way back into your team," and their play has done that.
You can't knock him, can you? Really, I think he's, as you said, it's just utmost professionalism, and I don't understand some of the stick that I do see him get on social media from Bayern fans sometimes. To be honest, again, I don't think he's as impressive as certainly Pavlovic coming through the ranks, and especially Bischoff now coming in. But he's a player that you want in and around the squad, isn't he? I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's move on to Saturday afternoon footy then. And really looking forward to all these games and just having the goals coming through and checking all the different streams that you can. We'll not talk about UK TV deals, shall we? I think that's best to be avoided tonight. So Saturday, Leverkusen, Hoffenheim. I think this for me is quite. I mean, based on last season, you put it as a home banker, as Mark obviously likes to say. But Leverkusen, we just obviously seen the news that Adli's transfer to Bournemouth's gone through officially. Leverkusen are obviously rightly doing deals themselves quite last minute. Loads of different players that are now being linked to. Obviously, they got the loan deal through for the Man City player. I can't pronounce his name off the top of my head. But there's too many variables for me. If you look at Leverkusen starting 11 or likely starting 11 versus last season, it's just chalk and cheese, isn't it? How different it is. So I will go for a home win, but just about. I think this will be tight, and I think Hoffenheim might go 1-0 up or something. I'll say 2-1 again to the home side. Cam, what are you saying?
Yeah, I actually went for the same, because I think for Hoffenheim, it can't get much worse than last season, can it? Really? No. And, well, we say that, and, it's the Bundesliga, anything can happen. And I'm not the biggest fan of Christian Ilzer in charge, but I do think they'll be a much better prospect than they were last season. They were dismal to watch at times, weren't they? And Leverkusen, it's the new era, the Erik Ten Haag era. They've got a few injuries as well. I know obviously the new signing Tillman's likely to be out this weekend, and there's it's a strange one. It is a banana skin fixture, isn't it? At the end of the day, a new era under a new gaffer. But I think they will get the 3 points, but it won't be as easy as as it likely would have been last season, so to speak. So I went 2-1 as well.
2-1, very good. Let's move on swiftly to Frankfurt, Bremen, and this feels a lot easier, but I'll let you lead on this, Cam, and has obviously got a couple of narratives going on with the old goalkeeper situation as well.
Yeah. Well, first of all, one of my friends who's watching yesterday, when it was announced that the BBC would be showing all the Bundesliga games, All my friends in the group chat decided to spin a wheel and see which Bundesliga teams they would get to support this season.
Nice.
And one of my close friends now, who is luckily a Werder Bremen fan, and he keeps messaging me throughout the show saying you best be predicting a Bremen win. I unfortunately, Cal can't go that far. But I think it's going to be a draw. I must admit, I actually wrote 2-2 at first because I think the stuff that Elversberg played last season under Horst Steffen, I can see Bremen scoring a hat full of goals this season, and Frankfurt as well. I know they've lost Ekitike, obviously lost Marmouche in January, but I'm still predicting they'll be decent in front of goal. Obviously, our favourite on this show, Johnny B, as well. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring match, and I'm stuck between 3-3 and 2-2 because I see both sides as sides capable of scoring a good amount of goals, and I think I'm looking forward to watching Bremen under Horst Stefan. But unfortunately, for my friend Cal, not a Bremen win.
Yeah, I can't go that far, sadly, for Bremen. I feel a lot more strongly about a home victory this time. I think the window and the hand that Horst Steffen has been played feels quite unfortunate. Not only the players that they've lost and not recruited this summer, they've got a couple of notable absentees, no Steg, no Weiser, no Werber. Those are players that would, fall straight into that team. The goalkeeper situation, of course, with Frankfurt letting Kevin Trapp move on means they acted very swiftly to bring in Zetterer, which I think is an interesting transfer anyway. But yeah, so the very unknown Backhouse, I think, will be likely to start. A bit of pressure on him. Either way round, I'm going 3-1. Can't see it for Werder Bremen, sadly. So yeah, I'll be slotting that one in. So let's move on again to the SCF versus the FCA. So Sport Club Freiburg will be taking on Mark's Bavarian brothers, Augsburg. I think this is definitely a much harder game to call than the previous three. Feels a lot more balanced on the team sheets. Obviously, Julian Schuster done a fine job, and we've given him quite a bit of praise in some of the preseason shows that we've done already. So I feel home advantage definitely. Augsburg traditionally, in the last couple of seasons haven't travelled well, but that backbone and defensive resilience that we saw well established after the Christmas break at Augsburg will be something that will definitely test Freiburg, because of the big thing that we've been addressing on this show is that the lack of goal scoring striker that Freiburg really possess. So I think it will be tight. So with that in mind, I'm going to slot in a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I went for a 2-1 win for the hosts, but it was a flip of a coin with this one for me. I think Augsburg are one of the sides that I'm looking forward to watching the most this season. Obviously, it's a very much the reason they got rid of Jess Torup in the first place was because they wanted a different style of play, isn't it? And whether or not Sandro Wagner can bring that is a different story. But there's so much intrigue around them, really, because it's largely the same squad. And whether he can get that squad playing the type of football that the club has spoken about what it wants is yet again another question that is going to be answered maybe this weekend and in the coming weeks. Freiburg, they've lost obviously again. So as you expect with Freiburg, they never really tend to drop too far down or really differ from the position from year to year, do they? And Augsburg are one of the sides that are looking at possibly getting themselves in there. So if they were to get a result this weekend, it would be massive. But I just think that Freiburg have got a bit too much. Freiburg haven't really had, since the start of their rise to the top end of the Bundesliga, have they? They've never had that recognised 20-goal plus season striker, have they? They're brilliant at home. They get results. And yeah, I just think it just seems to make sense for me. And Augsburg
obviously new head coach, new ideas. We'll see what happens with him. Justin saying Freiburg by 1 goal, and Sammy reckons a draw. Let's move on once more to Union Berlin versus VfB Stuttgart. I think mine fairly well noted. So I'll let you lead on this one, Cam, and say what you're thinking for this fixture.
Well, I think if we have our Stuttgart glasses on, then we're hoping that the 4-4 draw is avoided from what happened in April. I was on the way back from Freiburg Hoffenheim that day, and every time I put the game on, I missed the goal. And whenever I watched the game, because I was watching it on my phone vibrating, it's 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-4, whatever was happening that day. So yeah, hoping that doesn't happen again. But I think that Stuttgart should have too much for Union, even at the first eye as well. I think that Stuttgart have made good signings this summer. The Voltemade saga has been going on for too long now, and I'm sick of reading about it and writing about it mainly. But I think it's the same. It's the majority of the squad is still there. There's still talent in that squad, aiming for around the upper European positions, possibly Champions League. And I just think they'll have too much for Union, and I've gone for 3-1 for the visitors.
Lovely stuff. Thank you for letting us know, Justin, about some slightly echoey audio on your ends. We can't hear any echoes in the studio ourselves, so apologies. But
Sammy, it definitely is the Wi-Fi in the Black Country. Just to answer that question,
we'll I think we'll work on, hopefully our audio will get a bit better as the season goes on. I've made it no secret that I've just moved house and I have no idea where my headphones are. So as soon as I get mine sorted, my end will be infinitely better. But anyway, we'll move on. Hopefully you guys can still watch and understand what we're saying well enough, and everyone else that is watching across the channel. Let's have a look at Heidenheim Wolfsburg. Again, in our predictions for the full predictions that me and Mark did, we said it doesn't look too pretty for the home side, sadly, just because of the lack of spending power, the squad itself, but the away side as well come with some question marks for me, and so that's why it makes it a little bit harder to call. Obviously, Wolfsburg's biggest and best player from last season, Mohamed Amoura, has been kind of phased out of the team, and there's a lot of chat about him being moved on for the right price, seen like 40 million euros quoted. Certainly that's what the VFL want. Either way around, it looks like he's doubtful to put any kind of green top on for this one. So it's interesting to see how Wolfsburg go. Obviously, Pecinovic, the hat-trick hero from the Pokal, will probably get a start. So he'll have to spearhead that Wolfsburg attack. I think the away side will have enough, but kind of feels like Heidenheim, if they're going to avoid the drop, this is the sort of game that they could use with a great start. That attacking quartet, Honsak, Scienza, Ibrahimovic, and then maybe someone like Zivadze, because I think Pierenga is probably out. They'll have to have a good game. So all that considered, I'm going to say 2-1 away win to Wolfsburg.
Yeah, I went the same. I just think that Heidenheim, as we pointed out, just the lack of spending, they haven't got the money to spend in the first place. And then, when you actually put it down on paper, what they've brought in this summer, it doesn't, when you compare it to other Bundesliga sides, it's just a massive, massive contrast, isn't it? Whereas Wolfsburg, it's not exactly, sunshine and rainbows at the minute, but I still think they've got too much for Heidenheim. And speaking of Cienza, as he just mentioned, he has to start this season. He just has to. Seeing him just be a bit part player at times last season was so frustrating when you could see what he would do in the relegation playoff as well. But I think Heidenheim, for me, are the side that I'm looking at and saying that they're nailed on to be probably the favourites to go down. And I think Wolfsburg have too much for that. So, 2-1 for me.
2-1, yeah. But I can absolutely get on board with what Justin's saying. A potential update, and he's going for an underdog 2-1 win. So let's move on to Saturday's top spiel, which should be equally an interesting game. So St. Pauli, another side that me and Mark have doomed in our predictions, are taking on Borussia Dortmund, who themselves had a very interesting summer. And now being linked to a lot of different players as the window draws to a close, which we talked about at great length. Yeah, Fabio Silva. Yeah, I'm sure you're interested to see your thoughts on that one when we come to you, Cam. So, yeah, obviously the Milan tour, Saturday evening, first game of the season, it'll be bouncing, it'll be buzzing. But the squad and the predicted lineups just don't line up enough for me. Again, I'm sure they'll defend well, as they did last season. And Dortmund have many questions to answer themselves, plus a bit of a very big defensive crisis already. So I've kind of lined it up for you, but Cam, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, St. Pauli, I was writing a piece the other day because Morgan Guilavogui has been linked with Southampton. And obviously there was the whole drama this summer of him being bought by St. Pauli and then being rebought by Lons. And well, anyway,
that was so strange.
And I was just looking at their records again from last season about how many little goals they scored, and then I still can't believe that only Bayern conceded less than them. And I know they were a very defensive side. They weren't the easiest on the eye at all, were they, St. Pauli? But they still did an impressive job. But it's that attacking impetus now. Obviously, Noah Weishaupt going back to Freiburg, and then Guilavogui not being there as well. You've lost what was really your two biggest attacking threats, and Philipp Troy as well going to Freiburg as well. They've lost big players this summer, and it's going to be a tough season. Whether they can keep up that defensive record, again, it's still questionable. And then again, can you score at the other end? I don't think so with this team. So I just think Dortmund, whilst it's not the Dortmund of old, there's no real expectations for them to challenge for the Bundesliga this season. But I still think they have too much, and I've gone for 3-1.
3-1's fair. I'd love to give St. Pauli a goal, but I'm going to say 2-0, I think. Maybe a couple of second half goals. Girassi to the rescue, as per I am saying. So we'll move on to Sunday's two fixtures. So we've got Mainz, Nullfumpf. So this is where we see two newly promoted sides, obviously in two different games. So the Billy Goats, FC Köln, are travelling to Mainz for this one. Obviously for the 0-5ers, they've just come off a very disappointing in the end 2-1 loss in Norway. I thought after the Amiri goal, I thought they'd go forward and put themselves into a really strong position. So they're going to have to make a lot of noise next Thursday to try and turn things around. And I'm hopeful that they will. But on to Sunday, obviously a bit of early travel already for that squad, which does feel a little bit thinner this season. But Bo Henriksen, no doubt, will work his magic once more. Will Mainz be I don't know. Can you say that Mainz are fixated on next Thursday already? I think surely they go all guns blazing anyway for a season opener at home. So I can see them being strong. But equally, I'm really interested to see how Köln go this season with a lot of familiar names from the side that got relegated a couple of seasons ago. So whether that's blind faith thinking that they've got Bundesliga experience and therefore they'll go quite well, or is it the same players that aren't good enough a few seasons ago as well, with a bit of a mixture of players added in? Either way round, this is where I might try and divert and get some early points on my colleagues and say I'll go for a 2-2 draw on this one. Why not?
Okay. I can see why. But also with the point you made on, going out for next Thursday and things like that, I just don't see Bo Henriksen as the type of guy who's going to sort of rest his best players this weekend, especially for a season opener, as you mentioned, at home as well. I still think this Mainz side have got more than enough to be in and around the mid-table area of the Bundesliga. Obviously, losing their talisman really in Jonathan Burkhardt. But I still think they've got more than enough to beat a newly promoted side who is going to, yes, as you mentioned, they've got Bundesliga experience, but going away to what is really a European level side is always a difficult ask on opening weekend. So I've gone for 2-0 for Mainz.
Very good. And finally, then, rounding off the weekend will be, Borussia Moenchengladbach versus Hamburg. Great return for the Hart SV after many seasons of attempting to get back into the Bundesliga, the top league in Germany. Cam, really exciting game to have. Hamburg back in the top flight. How can you see their away trip going in Gladbach?
It's just the usual case with Gladbach that they're no matter what year, they're the most impossible team to predict. Every single week last season, I don't think I got a single Gladbach score or just result anyway correct last season on any of the shows. So I don't have the best record with them. But with Hamburg, I just think they're going to be this. And it's quite poetic, really, that they're playing their first match back in the Bundesliga is against the side that they got relegated against back in however many years ago it was now. It's a very long time ago, what it feels like anyway. And I think this is going to be the big upset for me this weekend. I can just see Hamburg getting something. Okay. And I've gone for a 2-1 win for the visitors. I don't know why. I can't really give a deep explanation and as to why, but I just think it's going to be the upset this weekend and Hamburg will take 3 points.
Interesting. Well, I think one thing that we can definitely take away is the fact that Kleindienst being out with a knee injury is straight away a concern. If he doesn't make the starting 11, and someone like, say, Tabakovic leads the line, that does not inspire me in the slightest. I can get on board your thinking there. I like Honorat, Hack, Sturger, obviously Shuto Machino as well coming over from Kiel. So I feel that they've got goals in them. Against this Hamburg side, which I know bits about in terms of their defence, and obviously I'll learn more as the season goes on. But I will say I might go and sit on the fence again, and I'll go for a turgid 1-1 draw, I shall say. Very much looking forward to seeing how that one balances out. Although, yes, I'll have to probably pay my £2.50 on Amazon Prime if I want to play doing so.
Not on, is it? I don't want to talk about it because it just winds me up.
I think, like we said, we might be on here for another half hour if we start talking about TV rights. Although,
how long before the Bundesliga show partners with Mark Goldbridge?
Well, if Mark approaches us, I'm sure we can have a conversation. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Funny how time goes on with content creators, now leading the line on live football is pretty crazy. Either way round, it's been great fun to go through it all with you all. First predictions are locked in. Hope everyone enjoyed the show tonight. We can't wait to just sit back and absorb it all this weekend. Should be absolutely awesome. Thank you to everyone that's got involved and watched with us this evening. And subsequently, thanks to Justin and Sammy and Ballon for jumping on and having your say, and everyone that watched, obviously in the background as well. We really appreciate it. So just before we close up, just the usual odds and bods of admin. Leave a thumbs up if you can. Make sure you subscribe, whether it's by entering the competition that we've got at the moment, or just because you want to get Bundesliga content from the best beats in the world. We're doing content all through the season every week, and we'll be back on Monday to review it all, which we can't wait for as well. So yeah, make sure you do those to make sure you don't miss out. Also, yeah, make sure you find us on social media where you can find the aforementioned giveaway for Bundesliga boxes. Batch 50 is there for you to find on X and Blue Sky at the moment. We have Instagram and Threads accounts also, and you can find us at the Bundesliga Show, of course. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Been great fun. Have a wicked weekend, enjoying the football, and we'll see you on Monday to review it all. Can't wait. Thanks, Cam. See you all soon.
Absolutely. See you all soon.